welcome to Live in the Solution. I'm your astrologer and tarot card reader, Mary Trimble, here with your readings for September the 9th through September the Let me see. Through September the 15th. Guys, I just want to say thank you so much for all the wonderful sentiments and for your patience and your support and loyalty during this really difficult time. As most of you know, my brother passed away last week, so I just needed some time, alone in solitude to kind of contemplate my feelings around that. So I really, really appreciate you. And these readings are dedicated to my brother Michael. I know he would have said, get on with it, So that's what I'm doing. It doesn't mean I don't get sad at times, but the show must go on. And anyway, these readings are for the collective, guys. So take what resonates and leave the rest. If you're new, welcome. I really hope you enjoy these readings and that you come back. If you would like a personal, more tailored reading, you may click on this link here or go to my website. And all the links for everything is in the show more section below, the description box. I will have links to the other videos in there because this is for your sun, moon and rising. So check out the other videos. And I also have a Facebook group that's closed, and the link to that will be there. And every other week I do a live feed just for that group, and we talk. I look at the aspects and how usually it's a full moon and a new moon. That's how I do it every 2 weeks, and we look at your sign and how you will be impacted by that celestial sky at the time. And I also do, answer questions with the tarot, so that we have fun in that group. So, join the group. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and please like, share and comment on my videos. I'd really appreciate that. Now my videos come in 3 sections: the intro, which is this, then the astrological reading, and then the tarot. And there are skip times for each section in the show more section below, so you'll be able to skip, especially if you're checking out your sun, moon and rising. And another way to support this channel is through Patreon, and I really want to thank my patrons. I really appreciate you. Thank you for believing in me and supporting me. And I especially want to thank Hilary Smith, has been so generous and so kind during this time, and Joe Lamar. He's also been extremely generous and kind and checking in on me, and Beth, thank you so much. Beth has been extremely generous and caring and kind. So everyone's been very kind. I'm very, very fortunate to have such wonderful and incredible people in my life, and I'm really thankful for that from the bottom of my heart. So without further ado, let's go to the astrology section, shall we? Hello and welcome to the astrological portion of your reading for the week of September the 9th through the 15th. And what a dynamic celestial sky we have this week. It is incredible. At the beginning of the week, we start off with a stellium of planets in Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign. It's a mutable sign, which means it's kind of flexible and, it sways, it moves here and moves there. There are 4 planets in Virgo at the beginning of the week. By the end of the week, 2 of those planets will move into Libra. So that will be Mercury and Venus. So they move from this very kind of heavy, grounded earth sign into a very light intellectual air sign. But more about that later, because the big news this week is the full moon in Pisces on the 13th or 14th of September, which is the Friday or Saturday, depending on where you are on the planet. Now, the full moon, as most of you know, is when the sun is opposite the moon. In fact, it is the sun that is reflecting on the moon that gives the moon the light. The moon doesn't have any light of its own per se. It just reflects the moon, the light from the sun. So a full moon is the completion of the lunar cycle. So it is the culmination of the cycle. It's a time, it's the crescendo, if you will. It rules our emotions. So we're very affected by the moon, and it's very close to the Earth. It's the closest planet to the Earth, so we definitely feel that. And it's a very fast-moving planet. That's why they say, you know, Cancerians are ruled by the moon, right? And that, you know, they call them moody because the moon, you know, moves very fast, faster than any other planet. So they go through moods quickly. Now, the full moon is a really good time to let go, to slough off your emotions, to forgive yourself, forgive others, to let go of something that needs to go, to allow that to move away, to just let it go. Sometimes it's good to look at what we started at the new moon and see how far we've come. Has it completed? Whatever we planned or started at the first moon, at the new moon, I mean, can come to a culmination at the full moon. Now, on Friday, the 13th, this is before the full moon in Pisces. And I just want to mention, right, so the moon is in Pisces and the sun is in Virgo. Virgo, as I said before, is this grounding, mutable energy. And Pisces is a mutable energy also. It's watery. It's the most sensitive of all signs. It's the oldest sign in the zodiac. It is a completion of the zodiac, if you will. So where Virgo is very practical and grounding and analytical and, you know, problem solving, Pisces is kind of very ethereal. There's a connection with the ethereal realm. It's like having one foot in the ethereal realm and one foot on the ground, right? And Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune is actually next to this moon at the time. So the thing about Neptune is this is a really spiritual and what do I want to say? Psychic, intuitive full moon. This is when we tap into our intuition. You know, it's where logic and intuition come into play. It's almost like the head and the heart come together, and you can really make intelligent decisions. It's really a wonderful time for meditation, for connecting with the higher realm. Not only that, okay, so I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. So Mercury is, so on Friday before Mercury and Venus move into Libra, they are together in Virgo, what we call conjunct. And their energies are melding, right? And they are, you know, Venus is about relationships, and Mercury is about conversation. It's about communication. This is a communicating full moon. It is an intuitive full moon. It's so powerful. This is really important. This is an incredible time. It's almost like epiphanies can happen during this time, because the sun is also on that same day, on Friday, actually at 3:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the sun trines Pluto. Now, 333, means the angels and the ascended masters are surrounding you, right? And this is so what's happening. The sun, the creator, right? Godlike. And you've got Pluto from the underworld, but really, a power. It's a power dynamic. This is strong and powerful. And it's in a trine is a beautiful relationship. So this is a wonderful opportunity to be empowered, to look at your own personal power, to go within, to seek guidance from the ethereal realm, from spirit, from the angels, to connect with them. I mean, this is just it's so incredible. Now, when when this full moon happens, right, we have all of this, what I like to call a cosmic soup happening. We have this, what we call a T-square in astrology, and this means that it's like a very kind of wide triangle, if you will, from the full moon to Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is about expansion. It's about, spirituality. It's about the higher realms. It's higher learning, right? And it's in a contentious relationship with the moon and the sun at the same time. Now, squares are kind of motivators, right? They're contentious, but there's a breaking point, right, where they break apart, and then something wonderful comes out of it. So squares are motivators. They're not really, they're not a bad aspect. They are, as I said before, motivators. So this is a really okay, so I get really excited. This is a really wonderful opportunity to connect with spirit, to go within, to look at what has empowered you in the past and what you need to do going forward. This is kind of epiphanies where you could be doing something and say, wow, you know what? This isn't working for me anymore. It's almost like there's major life-changing decisions for a lot of people, and people will make it. Will make those life-changing decisions. It's about being empowered. It's about doing what's right for you, what's right for everyone, because what's right for you is right for everyone. Now, you must be careful not to let the ego get in. So it's really important to meditate. It's really important to hear. Prayer is talking to God. Meditation is listening. So all you have to do is to make sure that your pride and ego don't get in the way, and that you humbly go within and search for what's right for you. I mean, this is just such a powerful full moon. It's exciting. Now, Venus, Mercury moves into Libra about 3:15 in the afternoon. And I also want to mention that what's interesting at this full moon is Mercury rules Virgo. And so that's together in the sign with the sun. So this is what's interesting is, right, the ruler of Virgo is next to the sun, and the ruler of Pisces is next to the moon. This makes it even more powerful and stronger. And we will look, Pisces and Neptune is about creativity on the higher scale, right? It's creativity, it's illusion, it's like tapping into the ethereal realm. And on the downside, it can be delusion, it can be foggy, it can take you in daydreams, and it's very difficult to get focused sometimes. Like, I've had to pull myself together. When Neptune is at play, it's you can have a lifetime in a couple of hours, and it's important not to kind of you can get melancholy at this time, and you can get a little sad, and perhaps, especially when the squares are happening, you can get a little fearful. But you have Mars opposite Neptune too, so that kind of gives you, Mars and the Sun, it gives you that kind of energy that you want to get up and you want to do something, and you want. But what's interesting is Pisces is relaxed and chill and contemplate and be creative, and Mars and the Sun is like action and creativity and excitement and fast energy. So you have this push-pull. It's important to remain balanced during this time. And what is lovely is that Venus moves into its home sign of Libra, right? A bit later on that day, after Mercury moves into Libra. And Mercury is about, balance. Mercury is about the intellect, thought process, and communication. And Libra is about balance and diplomacy. And so, your communications become a lot more kind of calmer and balanced and harmonious. And Venus moves into Libra, and that's Venus's home sign. She's very refined in Libra. She's intellectual. She likes to express herself through poetry and music and art. So we will feel that wonderful expression of poetry and art and music. Will get that incredible appreciation for that. And actually, that's a really great way to channel that energy. And if you're a writer or you're into the visual arts, this is perfect energy for you to move forward. But all in all, this really powerful full moon, prepare for it. Do a full moon ritual, charge your crystals. Do a ritual, meditate during it. I'm going to go out and I will meditate in the outdoors under this moon. I will moon bathe and I will meditate under this full moon, because we are going to make such amazing connections during this time. Thank you, guys. Let's go to your tarot reading, shall we? Hello, Taurus, and welcome to your reading for September the 9th through September the 15th. Thank you for your loyalty and your patience. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. I really do. And your sentiments really help me more than you'll ever know. Who are a great comfort to me. So thank you so much. Okay, so what wonderful gifts, guidance, and blessings do we have for Taurus? 3 cards for Taurus, please. There's 1. 2 more cards for Taurus, please. Wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information. Look at Taurus for this coming week. Wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information for Taurus for this week. Okay. Oh no, that's 2 cards. Sorry, I've got 1 more. 1 more card for Taurus. I'm shortchanging you, darling. Sorry. 1 more card for Taurus. What wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information do you have for Taurus this week? 1 more card. Oh, they're slow at coming out. Oh, there it is. Oh my goodness, I kept seeing this and it finally fell out. Okay. Now we have the clarifying cards, which I have shuffled off screen. What wonderful gifts, guidance, blessings, and helpful information can you give Taurus for this coming week? Okay, please clarify. There you go. Oh, 2 cards. Very interesting. And then please clarify. Oh. And please clarify. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay. Oh, I forgot to show the cards to Aries. Okay, so here we go. Take a look at your cards. Can you see them? Okay, the first card up for you is the Hierophant, clarified by the World and the Hanged Man. And then you have the Eight of Wands, clarified by the Ace of Swords. And then you have the Eight of Swords, clarified by the Eight of Pentacles. Ooh, 8, 8, 8. Abundance, darling. 888. I try to keep my my emails to 888 unopened emails, but then I messed up and I opened extra. I opened the spam, and now I had to open as many to get down to 808. It's a lot of meaning in numbers, right? So here we have the Hierophant, right? The Hierophant is the Pope in some decks, and he's the High Priest in others. He represents faith. He represents your faith. He represents, when he comes into a reading, you're being asked to trust and go back to your faith. Trust that things are happening for a reason, because this is the number 5, and 5 means change. So there may be some changes afoot. And for you, darling, you have Uranus traveling through your sign. So yes, of course, there's a lot of changes. There's fantastic changes, and then there's not so many fantastic changes. I always say, you have reaping days and learning days. You just have to learn from things. Through strife comes amazing things. So sometimes we need that. We wouldn't appreciate the good without the bad, the easy without the, without the stress, right? Peace without conflict. So it's the yin yang of life, right? The opposite. So you're being asked to trust. Okay, so look at this. This is really interesting. So you have the Hierophant. You've got to kind of trust and have faith that everything is going to be okay, because you have the World coming into your reading, and the World is when, the universe is an spirit or God, however you articulate your belief, your deity. This is when the universe backs you up for making a change, for going in a totally different direction. This week is about change, It's about accepting the change. Now, you also have the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man represents a respite. It's time to kind of take a step back. It's time, and this is so profound, because that's really what is happening astrologically. This is a time for reflection. It's a time to look at the past. It's not a time to dwell in the past. It's not a time to, get melancholy about the past. It is a time to look at the past and kind of judge what you have learned. Take a look at it from a kind of impassioned way, a logical way, and say, what have you learned from the past? And know that there are things that you can't repeat, right? So this is looking at something from a different perspective. The Hanged Man is, he's upside down. He's like in a yoga pose. But he's got this ethereal, he's got this halo around him. So it's really taking a spiritual look at things. How can you grow? How can you move forward differently? And you will. Look, if you do the same old things, you'll get the same old results. So have faith and trust in the everything is happening for a reason. So this change, embrace this change, but look at the past and take action. This is about taking a respite, but then coming back in and taking action and doing something completely different, taking your life in a different trajectory. And don't be in fear. And look, the next card you have is the 8 of Wands, and this is fast energy and lots of opportunities. Look, there's 8 of them coming in, really being thrown at you. You've got to get those opportunities. You've got to take them. And clarifying this, you have to look for the opportunity. You won't see them unless you're looking for them, right? Have you ever noticed that? It's like you're feeling kind of down, and and then something happens and somebody says, look for the opportunities. The opportunities coming. You start looking, you start seeing them, and you realize that they've been there all along, but you hadn't noticed them because you weren't looking for them. So then, clarifying this, you have the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Swords is the Ganesh of the tarot. Your blocks are being removed, but it's not an easy kind of, it's a new beginning, but it doesn't feel easy. And sometimes when the Ace of Swords comes in, it's coming in because you're feeling like you can't do it. There's no way, that you're not seeing the solution or the end game. You're feeling stuck. Oh, and I'm going to show you in a minute. That's so interesting. So I always use this analogy. So you're in the jungle, you're in the thick vegetation, and you are blocked by this thick vegetation. You cannot move forward, right? And then all of a sudden, the angels are, and this wonderful big machete is coming down from the heavens in light, and it's like, it's the best thing you've ever seen in your life, right? So you pick this machete and you start, chopping away at this vegetation, and hard work though it is, you carve a path for yourself. And that's what this is. It's the remover of obstacles, but you have to kind of put some elbow grease into it, Taurus. You've got to motivate yourself to get up and to do it. You've got to make it happen. You have the tools. You're being given the tools, which is wonderful. Now you've got to put the elbow grease into it, right? And the next card is the 8 of Swords. So the 8 of Swords is when you're feeling stuck, right? But it's really your mental state that's convincing you that you're stuck. But it's an illusion, because it's just in your... Look, she's blindfolded. And this is interesting because this full moon also illuminates the truth. The truth is going to come in. Sometimes I'm getting the truth will set you free. Oh, wow. So the truth comes in during this time in a full moon. It sheds a light on something that was in the shadows, and now you suddenly see something in a different light. So you're being asked to take off the blindfold, and don't be a prisoner of your mind, Taurus. You are a prisoner of your mind. You've convinced yourself that you are locked away and someone's thrown away the key. You have the key. The key is just taking off the blindfold and seeing the truth and seeing the situation for what it really is. And what's interesting is clarifying the 8 of Swords is the 8 of Pentacles. Studying is going to set you free, actually. This is the apprenticeship card. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go back to school and get a formal education, but you must take some kind of training, even if it's like an apprenticeship and working with someone to learn something. This is about learning something and becoming an expert. It's really artistry. Look at that. This person is so involved in this incredible art. And this is where there's a potential to make a lot of money and to feel secure. And Taurus, that's what you love. You love to feel secure. So I am getting for some of you that it's time to kind of study something new. and that's very Jupiter. Jupiter's about higher education. So, you know, they're look into it. At least look up. At least do some research. Do some soul searching about what will really make you happy, and how can you go about, you know, making that a reality for you, right? Taurus, thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like this video and share it with friends, family, neighbors, social media. Help me grow this channel. I would really appreciate that. And comment. I always answer every comment. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Mwah. I love you all, and I'll see you next week.